Alrighty. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Articulate Thursdays. Don't you just love technology and when it doesn't work when you need it to work? That being said, guys, we are live right now, and I'm almost positive we are live. So I'm just going to do a quick check. And yes, we are live. If you guys can give me a thumbs up if I'm live, then that would be great. I believe I am. So let's get started, guys. Apologies for the delay, but welcome to Articulate Thursdays. I am your host, Nabil, the mild-mannered community development specialist and clearly a novice user of Facebook Live. We are very excited to launch a new series of activities to engage you guys with. And I'm going to be sharing a little bit about that today, as well as walking you through what Articulate Thursday is all about and the wonderful feedback that we got from residents. So moving forward, every single day, the town of Oakville will be utilizing our social media pages like our Facebook, our Instagram, our website to post activities and engage with you, our residents. So for example, tomorrow we have Fitness Fridays coming up. On Mondays, we're doing Heritage Mondays with the Oakville Museum. I'll be sure to leave the information on a post right after the Facebook Live post and below with all the information that you need and the websites to stay up to date with all information. So today, it's Articulate Thursdays. Every single week, we're going to be doing engaging art activities on Thursdays, and we're going Facebook Live at 4 p.m. So we asked our residents for this week to send us their creative interpretation of the following quote. The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or touched. They must be felt with the heart. Take a moment, just reflect on that. And this was said by the wonderfully talented and brilliant Helen Keller, who's left an impact for the world to benefit from. And I'm happy to share that we got a bunch of responses. So I'll be sharing some of the responses with you, as well as my thoughts and my reflections on what those mean to me. But I would encourage you guys also to post what those thoughts, what the artwork represents and means to you. Again, art is always positive. Art is constructive. So we only ask for positive comments and positive engagements with us. Now, before I get into some of the artwork that were sent to us, I quickly want to share with you what my thoughts are of this quote. And I think it's really appropriate that we're having this quote or that we presented you guys with this quote as with what's happening with COVID-19 and the pandemic and the emergency. I mean, these are some trying times, right? There's no other way to really put it. Physical distancing measures in place has meant that many of us and the activities that we enjoyed doing, we can no longer participate in at the moment. That can be stressful. And in moments of stress, we want to seek the company of our loved ones, but we're asked to almost do the exact opposite, right? For our own safety. We might not be able to see them or even touch them, but this quote reminds us that we can still feel them in our hearts. That physical distance is not the same as social distance. Time and space are only variables of the senses, but the heart transcends time and space. Sometimes when we're asked to think of a fond memory, I ask you, think of a fond memory that made you happy, that made you smile. For most of us, we are almost right away transported back into that time, because when we feel things with our hearts in those moments, then it's real. Then you don't need to see them or touch them to experience them in your hearts. And as long as we feel that warmth of our loved ones, then we know that we're connected together as a community and that we are all in this together. So I hope you benefited from that. That was just my thoughts on the quote. And I also want to start off with my creative representation. This is obviously Articulate Thursdays. I wanted to share with you a poem I wrote as a result of being inspired by the quote. And I think this will only make sense if you can see my beautiful face, which I know I've been depriving you guys of for now. So here we go. Ready? I want to present to you the poem that I wrote. It's called Still Here With Me. I can no longer see you, but yet you exist. I can no longer touch you, but you continue to persist. Days of the past feels like the present. Time has passed, yet I remain in your presence. Why did you have to leave? There was so much for us to do. I still do not want to believe, but alas, I must bid you for adieu. Oh, my hair, you are not here, but you are still with me. In memories, dreams, and sometimes during late night infomercials. You belong not in my head, but in my heart, where you shall remain forever. Let that sink in. I know it's deep. And while you don't see the physical hair, trust me, in my heart, it's wonderfully luscious right now. So that was just my creative interpretation. Let's get back to what some wonderful artwork that were submitted to us by our residents. So let's start it off with our good friend, Catherine. She submitted to us this wonderful art piece, and I believe this is a representation of Bronte Creek. Truly a beautiful art piece. And isn't that the case with all artwork? All artwork is creative and all artwork has purpose. So just take a moment, reflect, look at this wonderful art piece. It is, nature at its finest. And I have to tell you, Catherine, thanks so much for sending this over, because this did really bring a smile to my face, and it honestly gave me a moment to reflect. And when I was reflecting on it, what I came across was this mindfulness activity that I participated in not too long ago, and this painting really reminded me of that, and it grounded me back in to that mindfulness activity. So I wanted to share that activity with you guys. When you look at that painting, what color sticks out, right? Like green to me is so apparent, and that's the color of nature. And isn't nature so unapologetically beautiful always? And what really catches my attention in this painting is the trees. And if you look at the trees, how often do we notice trees? But aren't they the most calming influence in our lives? When you go for a walk and you pass by a tree that might have been there way before we were born and going to stay there way after we leave, that tree is still there. And so this mindfulness activity utilizes this metaphor of a tree. So think of yourself as a tree, and think of yourself as when the breeze blows against the tree. Now, sometimes the breeze blows and the tree is able to manage it, right? The tree, maybe the branches move a little bit, maybe some leaves even fall off the tree. But if the tree is grounded, rooted deep within the grounds, then it can withstand the breeze. Because as we all know, that the breeze can sometimes be light and the breeze can sometimes be really strong. And if you look at the times that we're experiencing today, there's a breeze coming our way, and it's a strong breeze. And we can question why this breeze is taking place. Just like the tree, if it was to question why the breeze is taking place, why is the breeze shaking its branches? But how much control would it have over the breeze as opposed to how much control it has over grounding itself firm in its roots? Because so much of life is not what happens to you, but how you choose to respond to it. So let us be like the tree and control our controllables and ground ourselves and respond to the challenges that life presents us with, being firm and mindful of the present and our own resiliency. So that was my reflection, guys. What are your reflections? Be sure to write on the comment box below. What did you think of this wonderful art piece? Catherine, thank you again. Thank you for putting a smile on my face. Thank you for making my day, for sending this over. All right, let's go on to our next one. This is truly touching, and we have to credit Toni for submitting this wonderful art piece. Toni, I hope it's okay for me to share this as you sent this the email, that this is an artwork. This is a painting of your son who passed away not too long ago. But from this painting itself and from your email, you mentioned that he remains close to your heart. Isn't this so powerful? And isn't that how life is experienced? We experience life with our hearts, with our emotions. So while somebody is not physically present with us, they can be there in our memories. They can be there in our hearts. And this reminds me of a quote that I once I read. I believe it was from Kate Ramsey, who mentioned that we are so much more than our last breath. And sometimes when we grieve, we always think of the last moments, but we forget to think about all the wonderful times that people have experienced in this life. And when I look at this painting and this artwork, I look at the smile. That is the first thing that stands out to me. And it is so beautiful. And Toni, you're so courageous and you're so awesome for sharing this with us. I hope as we continue this Articulate Thursdays, you share more of your art pieces and more of your reflections, because we really, really appreciate it. So once again, this is Toni's art piece. What do you think about it? Feel free to let us know. And as soon as the Facebook Live post ends, I'll be sure to answer any questions that you might have. All right, let's move on. Now this is a real piece of work. This is amazing. This was submitted to us by the wonderfully talented Emma, who's soon to be 11 years old. And let me tell you, this is a video, and when I first saw it, you could have fooled me to say that this was either made from James Cameron or Michael Bay, because it is that well done. Now I'm going to play the video, and I just want to put a caveat on, as a novice Facebook Live user, I don't know if you can hear the audio of it, right? But I think even with the visuals, it will make a huge difference because it is so well done. So Emma, thank you for sending this. I am now going to play it, and hopefully this works. Or not. Let's try one more time. It has to work. Let's play this.
The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen.
Absolutely brilliant. Once again, Emma, you should pursue a career in the arts because you are naturally gifted at that. Wonderfully done. Thank you so much. Again, I apologize if you couldn't hear the audio, but if you didn't hear, for Emma, feelings in the heart are what she feels about her friends and community, and our friends in our community right now is at the top of our minds, because we want everybody to stay safe. And this is a wonderful message for Emma. Emma, once again, thank you so, so much for sharing this. The town should hire you as our media representative, and to do all the wonderful media artwork, because this was fantastic. Alrighty, let's move on to some other wonderful art pieces that was submitted to us. Now, this is anonymous, so we don't know who sent this to us. They wanted to remain anonymous, but I don't know if you guys have noticed, if you're going for your walk, obviously with physical distancing and making sure that you're not in a crowd, I don't know if you've seen these positive messages of rock, and honestly, they just make everyone's day, right? Because just think of how often you walk by a rock and you never even notice it. But now this rock, this inanimate object, you put a little bit of artwork to it and it becomes so meaningful. And so this is just a simple artwork. I can see it's a flower and it's just there on a bench, a chair, for us to know that, while we're physically distancing ourselves, people are still thinking about us. Strangers who we would never have thought of are still thinking about us. And this is what community is all about. So wonderful picture. Thanks so much for sending it. Anonymous, thank you very much. All right, another picture of a painting in a rock. And again, once again, this is also anonymous. I believe it reads happy, be happy. Isn't that the case? Wouldn't life be so wonderful if you were all just happy? And if we can find comfort in looking at a piece of rock and be happy with it, then think of how much more we can do when we reflect within ourselves. So once again, thank you so much for sending this artwork our way. We will try our best to be happy, and we hope that all of Oakville is happy despite the challenges that we're experiencing right now. Again, another artwork, I believe this is also anonymous. This was sent to us when we were looking at local businesses. We tend to think of businesses has a transactional relationship that they have with the community, where people go and they purchase some goods and they receive some services. But sometimes it's good to know that the businesses are part of this community. And so positive messages such as this, chin up, friends, we'll get through this together, is a really positive message. And a business does not have to do this because they're part of a community, because we care about each other, because feelings are in the heart. Sometimes these small messages can go a long way. So once again, Anonymous, thank you so much for sending it to us. A few more. We got another wonderful message here from another business. Again, very simple. Stay safe, be well, be kind. We're in this together. Isn't that the case? We're really all in this together. In order for our lives to resume back to normal, we have to be in this together. We have to do parts, and it's good to know that businesses are doing their part. So once again, thank you so much, Anonymous, for sending us this wonderful submission. And this brings us almost to the conclusion of Articulate Thursdays, but I wanted to leave you with the next quote that I want you guys to interpret and utilize your creative skills. So this is the quote. It is, shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you will still be among the stars. Wow, right? It's all about understanding your potential, working hard towards your potential, because when you try your best, good things always happen. And this quote represents that. I am so excited to know and look forward to the submissions that you guys are going to submit to me. And so thank you so much, guys, for tuning in to Facebook Live. This was one of the first ones that we have done. Again, I know there were some technical difficulties, so thank you for being with us. And until next week, next Thursday, 4 o'clock, we'll use this quote. I'll put all the information in a link below, and we'll see you next time. Let me see if you can see my beautiful face before it's all over. Yes, thank you so much. Once again, metaphysical hair all up here. Peace out, guys. Stay safe. Great Oakville.